Welcome back to another video that nobody going to watch. Well, before starting this video, I want to update few things. Let me know if you guys prefer AI voice over mine because someone said that the AI voice actually sounds good. And there's no way my voice could actually sound like that. So just in case if this video blew up, which probably won't, let me know what you guys prefer because I know my voice is bad. So without losing the retention, let's dive into the video. This is SpiderMan Homecoming. So you might be wondering why am I having a beef with a 6-year-old movie? Yes, I personally have a problem with Tony and Happy in this movie. Remember this
I tried
scene
to tell you about it, but you didn't listen. None of this would have happened if you had just listened to me.
where Tony was mad that Peter was going all the way out to save the weapons from being smuggled? Is that called smuggling or stealing? I don't know. Tony thought that Peter was getting into way bigger trouble for a 15-year-old kid and wanted him to stay on the ground and handle smaller things so that he don't die. He won't die. Come on, it's Spider-Man's first ever movie in MCU. He won't die. Everybody were like cheering for this scene because they think it is wholesome that Tony was being a father figure for him and trying to protect. I don't know what exactly people think about this scene, but none of this would have happened if it wasn't for him and his sidekick. Let me explain. So in the beginning of the movie, we get to know how the villain becomes villain. Of course, as you guessed, or maybe you didn't guess, he was sort of created by Tony Stark. So apparently this guy got a contract to clean up the damages that is caused by Avengers and whatever that happened during the New York battle. But someone else took over his job and now the villain has no job and the guy who took over his job works for Tony Stark. It's a good move honestly as he does not trust random strangers and that random stranger became the villain. So fast forward, Peter was just doing all this Spider-Man stuff until this one scene where he notices a huge blue colored explosion. As a responsible hero and teenager, he runs there to check what's going on and find out that there's a whole illegal weapon business going on. And he tries to stop it. He miserably failed, then the vulture just threw him off and he got saved by Tony. Now listen closely, this is the part where the things get even more stupid. So Peter was trying to explain all of this to Tony and Tony gave him a reasonable advice because Peter is still a kid. He told Peter to leave this type of dangerous job to some other dudes.
Steady, Crockett, there are people who handle this sort of thing.
The Avengers?
No. Just a little below their pay grade.
Okay, I agree with that. Then the scene cuts to Peter and his friend trying to figure out the tech that Peter found that night. He and his friends managed to figure out that the person who created this tech actually combining both alien and human tech. See, these kids are more responsible than whatever agents that Tony mentioned that time.
Pay grade.
In the scene you could tell that nobody actually cared about these guys but Peter. The villain doing his job as usual, no action is taken. Thanks to Peter, despite not having much experience, he was trying his best to do something to stop this crime from happening, but he ultimately failed by delivering a stupid joke,
Hey, Big Bird! This doesn't belong to you!
calling Vulture the Big Bird. Peter needs to know that Spider-Man uses quips to distract their enemies, not themselves. And this is what escalated into endangering almost 300 people on the ship. So what Peter was trying to do here is that he probably knows that nobody gives a shit about this illegal weapon business, so he decides to go after them himself to do what he can to stop them. However, as I said, he lacks a lot of experience, so he keeps messing up. As his gangs make more deals, they grow bigger and become more dangerous because they will make more deals with more thieves, creating more problems, gangs, villains out of blue. Now imagine almost every gang in his hometown has one of these guns. Then eventually they might need to bring these whole ass Avengers to solve this problem when all of this could have been avoided if they took some action the moment Tony heard about the flying vulture guy.
Look, forget the flying vulture guy, please.
He's putting a lot of people in danger, potentially creating a huge villains by letting them grow and not taking any action. I get that he's trying to keep Peter safe, but he's putting more people in danger once again by not even properly listening to what Peter is saying. And have he not learned from his mistake? So now imagine if there's a guy who is purely evil and get this kind of alien tech, he would be unstoppable and would even go on murder spree. So who is the one to be blamed here? And this dude right here. I really don't understand him. So you're working for Stark and yet you are this careless. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Even before revealing that he's an Iron Man, Tony has always been under the radar of his enemies for simply being a billionaire who has a lot of influence in his country and military system. And he must know that almost every second there must be someone somewhere working tirelessly to take down Tony. Like literally anything could happen to that man given any second. So what worse is that Happy probably knows that all this going on, but he simply chooses to trust Tony's tech, I guess. Like, come on dude, you're living in a world where magic exists and it defies all the laws of physics. So at the very end, Peter still went after Vulture without the shield and managed to stop all of them and even saved Happy's job in the process. He deserves a lot of respect, which I'm really happy that he got them all in the end, because the entire time Tony was somewhat underestimating Peter because he's a kid and wanted him to stay on the ground and safe. But still, I don't understand why Tony chose to trust his agents or whatever those guys are more than Peter, who literally discovered all of the illegal business and even made some progress. Something that those Tony's secret agent couldn't. So if you actually watched this far, I guess I can say that I made it, because this is what I wanted actually. I was trying to improve my script writing and everything. And thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like this type of content.